Have you ever seen a train wreck so bad that you can't look away? Like, bless its heart, it tried, but it just kept getting worse. Well, this is one of the most iconic disasters in internet history. Today we're going to be talking about DashCon. Hi everyone, my name is Tiana True, but you can call me T. Before we dive deep into the depths of the internet, make sure you like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more from me. Oh my gosh, the chaos that was DashCon. The infamous Tumblr convention turned disaster in 2014. I figured after the full 2014 Tumblr deep dive that DashCon deserved its own video, because I think it's one of the biggest historical events on Tumblr and is the epitome of Tumblr. So let's set the scene. Tumblr is the epicenter of fandoms in the mid-2010s. A group of enthusiastic Tumblr users had the bright idea to create a convention. And I don't know why they thought this was a good idea, because given Tumblr's track record, it was like destined for failure at the very start. Like, I'm not trying to be rude. If you use Tumblr, then you would agree with me. But the people that decided to do this, I can't blame them, because they just wanted to create a place where like fans could come together and bring online communities together. It was such a big deal to meet your internet friends IRL. It was just aiming for fans to meet each other and some of the people in the shows that they really love, hobbies or interests within the microblogging network. However, and this is what I mean by this is the epitome of Tumblr, the event failed largely in part to poor management, especially mismanagement of the budget. And when this news dropped, it was like a wildfire on the dashboard, quickly becoming the main point of ridicule of the hashtag DashCon. It was initially creatively named TumbleCon, though they realized their mistake in naming it TumbleCon, and to avoid copyright or legal issues, they renamed it to DashCon, which I feel like was born because of the dashboard, if you get what I'm putting down. And this was so legit, y'all. They raised $4,000 on Indiegogo, which I get may not seem like a lot in this day, but it was a lot to raise on Tumblr. Shortly after that, passes went on sale. If you wanted one for the weekend, that was about $65. If you wanted that for a day, then it would be like $30 to $50. And the event took place in Schaumburg, Illinois. I have no idea if I pronounced that correctly. Like, where is this located? Is this anywhere near Chicago? Oh, it's near the Legoland Discovery Center. That's pretty cool. Okay, it's a neighborhood, it's a village in Chicago. Okay, this seems more understandable of a place to hold a convention. So it was scheduled for July 2014 in Schaumburg, Illinois. But yeah, in theory, this seems like a really great idea for like the Super Hulock and like other fandoms to like meet each other IRL and have a good time. You know, people have always loved going to like VidCon or Comic Con, and this was like TumblrCon. And they advertised and were planning a panel with NightVale, which was a pretty big deal. Well, y'all, things took a nosedive really quickly. According to the organizers, the hotel that they were hosting the convention in demanded payment immediately upon arrival, $20,000, which is 5 times the amount of their Indiegogo campaign. So I can't imagine how much the tickets covered the rest of it. I wonder if they were expecting like a payment plan or something. I'd be asking the hotel if I were them, y'all got Klarna? Y'all got Afterpay? Anything? Just trying to buy myself time, because they definitely did not anticipate that. So literally in a state of panic, they started asking people that were there for donations to try and cover the rest of the cost that the hotel had presented them.
We have a donation button on our website, and any little bit that like helps. This is something that has been completely out of your control. This is not something that we foresaw.
This cash was yes, we have a donation back.
If they were not religious that day, they better have become religious, because somehow, by the grace of God, they were able to cover the rest of the cost, which I just find unbelievable. I mean, I get that the convention failed overall, but if I'm able to raise that much money that quickly, then I'm gonna put that on my resume without a doubt. Still though, that was the tip of the iceberg. So like I said, one of the major attractions to the attendees was this panel for NightVale. This was supposed to have a live performance and a Q&A session from the creators of NightVale. But again, due to the poor managing, NightVale expected their travel expenses to be covered and they weren't. So justifiably, they pulled out last minute.
And we're here for the live reading evening and welcome to the NightVale. Hope you enjoy. It's 12:50. It is 12:50 right now, and they're still not here, so...
I know you guys have been waiting for an extremely long time, but unfortunately what I have to tell you guys is that basically NightVale just walked.
What?
We're all gonna sign together, okay? So 1, 2...
Because I can't even blame them, dude. Like, if I was gonna be going to the first ever convention, obviously I'm gonna expect to have like my hotel and my flight paid for, like at the very least. At the very least, if you're not paying for me, the least you could do is pay for the hotel and the food and the flight. That's just me though. Now, when people learned when NightVale pulled out last minute, they were understandably livid. Like, you're having me pay VIP prices. I came out all the way to Schaumburg, Illinois, and the main thing that I came here for isn't here? I don't know. If that were me, I would have to have people watching me to make sure I was okay. I would need my friends to be checking in on me daily. And then what did the event organizers do? Bro, they offered people an extra hour in the ball pit as compensation. Oh, it doesn't even feel real saying it 10 years later. It doesn't even feel real saying it 10 years later. An extra hour in the ball pit. It feels like a nightmare, genuinely. Who in their right mind, like I want to know who thought that was a good idea and then who didn't stop them. And y'all, it wasn't even a ball pit that was like the Guinness World Record breaking size of a ball pit. It was just like a average size of an inflatable pool in a large convention room, filled with plastic balls plopped in the middle of the largest room you can imagine, because it was meant to be for a convention. And that became the symbolic image of DashCon, the meme that we still see floating around today. And y'all, I cannot emphasize enough how crazy it was that this was even a thing, the size of the thing, how small it was, because the amount of attendees that were supposed to be at DashCon was like ranging from 300 to 1,000 people, which isn't a lot. Like, there's definitely bigger conventions out there, but I just don't know who in their right mind thought that many people and that small of a kiddie pool was a good idea. Like I said, not the biggest convention ever, but definitely too many people to fit in that ball pit. In true Tumblr fashion, the image of the ball pit started circulating on the microblogging platform and people were creating memes out of it. People that were there were posting live photos of the disaster, just completely mocking the entire situation. It became like the laughing stock of Tumblr. The phrase "an extra hour in the ball pit" became synonymous with inadequate compensation and poor planning. Rumors of deflation, rumors of urination in the ball pit, or coitus happening in the ball pit were all happening on the dashboard. So yeah, the fallout of DashCon was swift and brutal. Like I said, there was memes, but there was also criticism and horror stories. Everything about the mismanagement and corruptions, etc., spread like wildfire. But for some reason, there became claims of DashCon 2015. I don't know how they had the audacity to try and plan it after the first one, but they tried. You know, they tried. But by September 2014, the organizers of DashCon had decided to scrap the idea altogether, and they laid DashCon to rest. DashCon LLP dissolved, so that's how you know it was really done. I really can't. Look how I have literally none left. Although it was an ugly end, they gave it a good college try. They failed, but they tried, and they learned a lot, I would hope. Or did they? According to Wikipedia, as the news of the disastrous turnout at the convention continued to spread on Tumblr, it became known that the organizers had raised more than $17,000 in emergency donations to continue hosting the event at the venue. Combined with the moderately high prices of the tickets for the $65 weekend pass, the emergency fundraiser soon prompted suspicion that the convention was a little more money-grabbing than it seemed. In criticizing the poor planning of the event, Tumblr blog $17,000 was launched to offer a variety of alternative ways in which the money could have been spent instead. So not only did the event fail, you couldn't even feel bad for them. You couldn't even be like, wow, you know, they tried and they failed, but their intentions were good. No. The intentions don't seem to be good at all, which makes it that much worse.
Almost got shut down.
Really?
We need to raise $17,000.
Really?
Yes.
That's pretty cool. Did you do it?
We did it in under an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
They received donations by PayPal and cash, but only a small fraction in cash. Let's be generous and say 1/10 of the room at most. You can see people donating in the footage, and it's probably much less. So even if each cash donor is giving $20, which again, generous, that's only $700 total. Therefore, the other $16,000 or so is in electronic payments. Now let's look at this leaked list of transactions. Hold on. They made most of their payment in cash, almost $12,000. But they only could have got $700 from the donors, and they only had $3,000 in cash. So where did the rest of it come from? It's door sales revenue, not donations.
Said we owe the hotel money, right? Okay, the reason there's so much white space is because there's people that put this hotel's name on the piece of paper, and like they don't deserve shit, so we kept it offline.
Just because there were two different numbers going around. People heard 17,000 and they heard 20,000, and it sounded like they had jacked up the number.
Like, if someone really tried because it was out of the goodness of their heart, then maybe I would feel a little bit bad for them. But now it's like, oh, you actually had way more than you needed to pay the hotel. What? You know, if their intentions were pure, then I'd be feeling a completely different way. But no, they had poor intentions and they failed. So it just makes it that much worse. So it's kind of crazy that they tried to do part 2 of DashCon at all in the first place, just given the sheer backlash. But DashCon LLP had dissolved. So it's like, no way, they were definitely not going to do that. Wait, hold on. What was that? I'm hearing that there was a third attempt of DashCon. You guys, it was speculated that the same organizers of DashCon had tried to create a different convention called Emoticon, which, you know, whoever came up with that, I'll give them their flowers because that's pretty clever. But the organizers of Emoticon denied any connection to DashCon. Yo, they were trying to convince the same Tumblr girls that would hack cameras to see their faves. Like, you can't lie to these people. It's physically impossible. I don't know, man. Sometimes I'm delulu, but that is just extreme delulu. I'm trying to be that delusional in achieving my goals. Emoticon literally had the same co-creators as DashCon. 2 or 3 of them were the same co-creators as the creators of DashCon. Like, what? I find it bizarre that they even tried to say there was no connection at all. Like, your names are literally printed on DashCon and you're printing them on Emoticon. What do you mean there's no connection? The creators are the same. It's one thing if their names are John Smith, but it's another thing if they have a really unique name. Okay, I just opened up the wiki. Hold on, I'm fixating on my under eye blend. Okay, the founders of DashCon: Lachlan O'Neill, Kane Hopkins, Megan Eli. Emoticon founders. Wait. Organized by one of the co-creators of DashCon. Emoticon was being organized by 2 of the 3 owners of DashCon. Oh my gosh, there's literally a Daily Dot article that says the folks behind the infamous DashCon are back with a new venture. Kane Hopkins. Okay, yeah, Kane didn't learn his lesson apparently. I don't know how you can get away with saying there's absolutely no connection. It was later canceled anyway. The main Tumblr account cited that it was due to personal, financial, and safety issues. Safety for themselves, because if they were to do a DashCon 2.0 and fail again, they would need to be a part of like a witness protection program. And I'm not even joking. Really in the middle of editing my DashCon YouTube video, and come to find out there is gonna be a DashCon part 2 and it's happening in 2025. No, it has nothing to do with the original creators of DashCon, but I still found it really interesting. I don't even have the words to describe the emotions I'm feeling as I scroll through this website. DashCon has since become a cautionary tale in the world of fan conventions. A prime example of when supposedly good intentions have poor execution, or poor intentions having poor execution. The main thing is a story about how to not go about event planning, and also a reminder of how powerful the internet is, whether that be building or dismantling something. So there you have it. The rise and fall of DashCon, complete with ball pits, canceled panels, and a whole lot of chaos online and offline. Let this be a lesson to all aspiring and current event planners. Always have a solid plan, a backup plan, and never offer an extra hour in the ball pit as compensation. If I missed anything, or if you remember any of these moments, or if you happen to be at DashCon, leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more from me, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to be the first to see my next video.